You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
The views expressed by the individuals during this broadcast are their own opinions, and they may not be the same as those of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
All medical advice during our broadcast is not a medical opinion and should be checked with your medical physician.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Pace Radio Show. We're live and we're coming to you from paceradio.net, and we are still loading this new StreamYard thing. I thought it was going to put me automatically, and it takes us automatically out.
Oh, it worked. Didn't it work last week?
Yeah.
I didn't do it till Monday because it was Thanksgiving, so I wouldn't have had a chance to try it.
Correct. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I'll have to experiment a little more. I'm sure last week it just went. It brought us right in.
It did, and at the end, it just ended us like perfectly.
Yeah. It worked really good last week. I checked back to see how it worked.
Yeah, no, must be having a Monday.
Must be on a Wednesday.
On a Wednesday, yeah, that could be happening.
Exactly.
How's your week been anyway? I hear you're busily out making bonsais in your yard.
Yes, I am. I'm busy. It's that time of the year. As tonight, we got a big full moon going on up there. Some people call it the harvest moon, and it's that time of the season.
Right, didn't you? Remember we were talking about that last week, the Northern Lights, and how we had seen them, and then the next night you guys got to see them too.
Yeah, and actually, yes, and I got my plants in them too.
Right, and it was
pictures of the silhouettes. Too, right? Yeah, with the leaves, the canvas leaves, and stuff in the.
So I know we had them here too. They actually danced here for 2 nights in a row. It was crazy, and I missed them the first night because I was at work, and they were out before I got off work, and then I fell asleep. But the next night I got you because I've got an app on my phone that tells me if they're going to be in my area.
Yeah.
Going off, it was telling me they were at 80%. I'm like, shut the front door. So I went outside, and they were just. And I mean, I'm in downtown, and they were that bright. Like you couldn't use your phone. Like you have to use your phone.
Could you see them without your phone?
No, you could vaguely. Like you could see like not, but you need your phone to really get a good look at them. You need to see that like through the phone, right? But right. I could see them lightly. But I mean, like I said, the light pollution. I'm surprised I got to see them at all.
Yeah, because you're right in town. So
yeah. And there's a lot of like. I mean, it's a population 20,000. It's not it's not big, huge, but it's still light pollution, right? So
right. Oh yeah. Even here we got light.
I was so happy when I saw you posting them because you had said you'd never seen them before, and I thought, and then you got to. I was so happy for you guys.
Again, I got to see them for the first time, and then our daughter came out and. She brought the kids, so the grandkids got to see them, and here we waited, 60 years.
Right.
To see them. They got to see them already. So.
Oh, I know. When we first moved up to Coronation, I'd never seen them before either. And
mind you,
that was the first time I'd ever seen them either, too. But
I don't know how long you've been able to use your phone to see them to pick up those patterns. Because I know there was one night I was out there looking into the sky, but I didn't know anything about the phones. And I thought to myself, geez, the sun went down over 2 hours ago. I wonder if that light there is the beginning of the Northern Lights, and I just have to come back later on and see them maybe in full. But I fell asleep, forgot about it in a whole bit.
Yeah, but that's like I said, so I figured nowhere. You really but that's Southern Ontario, like. It's so odd for us to be seeing, like, and I'm in the southeast corner of British Columbia. Like, for us to be seeing them here is unheard of. Like,
right.
and they were like all over. Like, it wasn't just one little spot. Like, we have the pictures that the people in the city were taking were just like crazy. It was like, look at this photograph. That was
yeah. I see some people posting safe from posting photos of the Northern Lights.
Yeah, right. Because everybody in Canada is posting.
Yeah.
Because
The
everybody's bucket list for so many people. They want to go to, up to the Northwest Territory so they can see the Northern Lights, right? So many people. I read that my bucket list has been checked off. I've seen the Northern Lights, right? And that just, it's just something. But the seismic geographic storms that are going on up there to make them become in this.
Well, that's what has to happen, right? The storm's got to happen up there. And
and it was bad. Like, they're bad up there. And there's lots of solar flares coming up, which is not good. Like, for us to be seeing the Northern Lights, I mean, yeah, we're all thrilled about it but to be honest, it's not good. It's not good.
Battle in the skies.
Well, and I think what was most infuriating when you go on to TikTok and you see these people not believing that people that made that hurricane in the States. Read? You did.
That's why I got pictures of my plants, because I may not see them again. So I got my pictures. I ran out there in the dark and everything. Got a picture of them. Now, talking about plants,
Kamala Harris said she's going to legalize cannabis in the US.
Yes, yeah, we'll get into that tonight. I got an article on that I wanted to bring up.
I read that. You just got the rest of the votes that you're missing.
First, it's that time of year. It's harvest time. People are taking their plants down. I have seen some people, posted concerns have been ripped off. It's that time of year as well.
But you can report it now.
Correct. You can report that.
And if you've been ripped off your plants, report it, because I know
even if you've got your four plants, that's theft under $5,000.
And you know what? If the RCMP, you have to work on complaints, and if you don't phone them, they'll never know, and they'll never get any justification and take the stigma off the plant.
And so many people would say, "What? What do you mean you phone the cops because my plants got stolen?" But it's true. I know we've reported on them on the news, where people have been charged for stealing plants. And
they should be. Like I said, stuff is stuff.
I know in the past, and I'm sure even today, people are sleeping with their plants to protect them. Maybe getting a video footage of the person there might be a safer idea, depending on who's coming through.
I just can't imagine anybody, like, if it's more than 4 plants, like, what's the worth of those? Like I said before, 5 plants is equaling to 1 gram for a patient. Canadians aren't even able to grow 1 gram of cannabis, even though you can. We know that looking.
Yeah.
But again, if you're not an expert like we are, or you are, right, and you don't have the knowledge, some people can't grow that like you do.
Well, yeah,
you're not going to get that. So
I've had that 7 gram plant. Oh yeah, 7 gram.
Me too. Half an ounce plant. Like, you're going like, what the fuck? It looks so good when it was all, and then you take it and you dry it. It's a half an ounce, and you're going, what the fuck, right? But again,
I've already. I had a autoflower.
Patients can get 5 plants per 1 gram. So that's why I point out, legally in Canada, they're not even to get these Canadians that can't grow like you or I or whatever, who don't have any experience, are getting not even a gram per plant, for those 4 plants, right?
Well, your equivalency, when you look at the way the medical program, you get 5 plants indoors.
Per gram.
Yeah, but outdoors, it's 1 plant and a bit per gram, is it not? Or is it?
I thought it was more.
Yeah, you won't get 5 plants. You won't get 4 plants outside for a 5 gram a day license. No.
I'm not sure what the outdoor equivalency is in licensing, to be honest. I have never had outdoor. I always thought it was more. I thought you could have more plants if you grew outdoor.
No, it's less plants, because an outdoor plant produces more than an indoor plant.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because you can get bigger.
Yeah.
Now I get that. I knew one was, like I said, it was one or the other.
Yeah, I've seen the same strain yield 6 ounces indoors and yield 2 pounds outside. So so you got 4 of those plants, you got 8 pounds, right?
But if you're putting them right into the ground, they have the root growth. They have that hole under the ground to grow. If you're growing in buckets inside, the roots are only can go so far, and
They're
that's all
going to go so big. Yeah.
right? Because what's on the top is on the bottom. And if you only got a 5-gallon bucket that you're growing in, why we grow in like the 10-gallon garbage cans? Because the more root growth you have, the bigger the plant and the more yield you can get, right?
Yeah, I was in 3-gallon
You know,
pails.
we had ours like we'd go from 5-gallon into like, but we vegged for a long time. I wanted big plants. I wanted some yield, right? So we weren't doing the cash crop, growing it this big and then, turning it
Knock
over.
it down. You vegged it. Yeah, I vegged mine for a couple.
Sure,
Yeah,
that's like an outdoor. We were growing them indoor, but I wanted my plants to be big, bushy, and beautiful. I didn't want some stick that it was going to get a 5 grams off of. I was willing to grow one crop a year to get a fucking decent yield, right? When you're growing
so when
200,
it comes to outdoors, like I've grown outdoors a few times, but most of my experience is from inside. And inside it was always harvest time. You cut off the limbs, you trim them up myself, anyways, and I put them right on the dry rack because I didn't have room to hang them. Well, things are different now, but I tried something this year that I tried a little bit of last year, and I'm going to call it live trimming. And
yeah.
that's trimming while the plant's still in the ground. So I don't know anybody who does it. I haven't seen anybody even talk about it or even mention it.
No, but it's a really great idea because then the trichomes can get the last of the sun right through with this no shade leaf at all.
There's no shade. Well, and some people say, stress can help,
Yeah.
create trichomes or create bigger buds and so on and so forth, right?
Use a
Well,
little bit
how
shock
much
'em with
more stress can you get than taking the leaves off a plant, basically making it naked,
yeah,
and then having it subject to like frost temperatures almost?
right? Well,
Yeah,
and like again, they use CO2, right? Carbon, not pump it into the
yeah,
rooms to stress them out, right? Like give them
yeah.
that extra.
People do different things, to stress them, but so they it'd be it's gonna be interesting to see what happens.
Well, they're damn beautiful now.
Yeah,
Look like bonsais. Like when you show me those pictures, like look at those beautiful bonsai, because that's what it looks like. All and like the way they've all like how many tops they've got on them. Like you
yeah.
must have done a lot of topping on them babies, because like there's
Hey,
how many tops does that one plant have? Like 50?
something like that.
Like that's a lot of topping, but that's easy enough. It's like well, it's
Yeah.
growing. Yeah.
Well, you know what they say. You love your plants, they'll love you back. And
Well, you love your
I
plants.
spend I spend time with them every day.
Of course you do, and it shows, right? But I think that most of us that grow medically for ourselves, we're not growing for cash crop, and we're not the the
No.
old days growers that would we love our plants, right? And we do. We
Mm,
take care of them. We go down. We make sure that they're well taken care of and getting the proper nutrients that they need, and not forcing them. And that's the thing we always say. You got to listen to the plant, because if you force that plant's not going to give you back what you're actually expecting, right?
yeah, that's why I stayed away from what's that? EDTA.
What's up?
I was a chemical that's in some salt-based plant foods.
Oh, I would never use that shit either.
Yeah, that actually is
That
like,
stunts them. Like you can get too much salt in the root, and then it stunts the growth of the plant.
yeah. So I grow with organics.
Yeah, you have to be
Yeah.
careful that you don't over fertilize, because you can stunt your plant. You can actually like knock the growth right out of them.
Oh yeah, especially with the salt-based ones.
Oh yeah,
Burn
for sure.
them. But yeah, trim time. So I've got I posted on my Facebook wall there today some photos of the ladies that have been working hard throughout the summer to keep my plants bug free, no mites or anything like that. And
I'm
the
surprised.
great little laborers. What's
Mine never
that?
stick around. I said the ones I ever brought into my yard, they never stick
Yeah.
around. They just go away.
Well, I've always found like I've
Yeah.
tried them indoors, but they always ended up in the lights. So that was never
The
any
lights are
good.
sucking air up, right? Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I had them in the in I never had cooling tubes in my lights, right? we just ran fans, and we were always cool enough in the basement and stuff that I didn't really have to.
Right.
Never got above 70 degrees down there, and we had a little air conditioner in the window too with a squirrel fan to keep it cool. So I didn't. So my ladybugs didn't.
Keeping it cool keeps the mites away.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Under 70, if you keep it under 70 degrees, usually you can keep the mites away.
Yeah.
I've never read my room anymore about 68 degrees though, and that's with like I had a sunshine arm though, right? So I had like 4 lights on a twister in the room. All I had was those 4 lights, but they were on a sunshine arm, right? And then we had the couple on the side, but we were only ever running 6 lights. Ever.
That was it.
Yeah, with 30 plants though, I only have 6 lights.
Yeah. I ran 4 with 12 plants. Yeah, that's about right. Depended on how things were.
But if we wouldn't have had that sunshine arm that twisted, like that moved around the room, I wouldn't have got the light spectrum that I got for those 30 plants.
Oh yeah, to get some coverage, eh?
Right, but it was, like I said, a small room. The plants had like about this much room in between them, right? So it was literally like 5 plants around 1 light kind of thing, because it's usually 5 per, right? So you figured we had like the 6 or the 4 and then the 6, and we had 30 plants. That's pretty much 5 per, right, per light. So that's how we always kind of
looked at it. Yeah, 5.
5 plants.
Fit underneath whatever you can fit underneath the
shade. Yeah, well, like I said, that sunshine arm made it so that it just like the whole room got it. We had the white walls and it just all reflected, right?
No, being outdoor. I've never did this indoor. Before I get to that, I got to remember. You can see over my shoulder there. You can see the dewdrop.
Yes.
Right there. Hash pipe. My scissors. Like, even though all I'm doing is basically, it's not a fine trim. I'm just knocking off all the leaves.
Yeah.
Cleaning things up.
Scissors are so like gooped.
They're just gooped. Yeah.
Right on, Al. That's great.
So I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to smoking in this dewdrop.
That'd be nice. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Terrific. Well, that's pre-trimming.
Yeah, it's just a big pair of steel scissors. It's nothing fancy. Sort of like what we used in school back in the day. And completely steel, all steel, stainless steel, whatever that is, scissors. And just cleaning things up. And then once I get it all hung and dried, and then I'll do the last trimming. Right? 2 stages.
We always trimmed wet. And then
so did I.
Got lazy.
Yeah.
And one time we just let it all hang we took the fan leaves and stuff off and let it all hang, and then we dry trimmed it. Yeah. And I think it was easier to dry trim, to be honest, but we were knocking a lot of trichomes off when we were dry trim.
I found, like, indoors it was because of just a lack of space. I didn't have a dry room, so
yeah, I
had to trim it down and get it dry on a rack. But where was it going with that? Because sometimes I would go help a friend who was trimming somebody else's cannabis, and they just cut it down and hung it up in a barn and let it dry. Everything fell down, right? Because it's hanging. Yeah. Everything falls down. Then we spent half the friggin' day while we're trimming, cleaning off all the shit that's stuck to the buds. Oh yeah, it was no fun. I didn't enjoy that whatsoever.
I guess not. Like, why would you hang it in the barn where there's stuff that, like, dust and...
Well, there's that, but I'm talking about the leaves and all that were as they fell down.
Fell down, yeah.
Yeah, and then they would die and dry and.
Oh yeah. No, yeah. We took all the fan leaves and stuff off, like the big heavy leaf, before we hung it. Like,
yeah,
we wouldn't do a tight trim, and then we'd actually do the tight trim, and then we'd bag it, right, and let it sweat and cure, and so. There was different times we did different things.
Oh yeah.
Several different
Excuse me.
And sometimes it's a matter of how many people you got to help you and how quickly you need to get it done, and like I said, you try and take shortcuts a lot of times because it's a lot of work. And let's fair, nobody likes sitting 8 hours doing this all day. Your hands hurt, your fingers hurt, like your back hurts. Like I would not be, like that's not a job I would want to have to do.
Your
Job, right?
body hurts. Oh yes.
It's not like I said, it's like it's not a
Yeah,
hard job. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to do it, but you have to be like physically able to be able to sit hunched over for 8 hours or 12 hours chopping
yeah.
away at this stuff, right?
We used to have a real comfortable way sitting in some chairs with these trays and
Oh,
stuff.
the trays, yeah.
Yeah, and we could sit
Gloves
there
and
and trim
yeah,
away, and we'd have conversations, speaking with other people,
yeah.
and people stopping by.
Well,
Like little,
knowing somebody that used to work at in a trim room at a licensed producer, they're not
Mhm.
allowed to talk to each other. They got
no,
to
I
sit
would,
trim, and they have to trim 1 kilogram a day and keep up. And if they don't, they get let go because there's a fucking like you have to be fast, and they want a kilogram or more trimmed a day per person.
oh wow. Oh,
That's 2.5 pounds of weed.
I know it
I
is.
weight.
But
Like what is?
that's wet weight, right?
Yeah, yeah, but
Well,
still, that's a
he
lot of
says wet
fucking.
weight, not dry.
But
It'd even
still.
be that much more.
That's like 2.5 pounds per person per day, like, come on.
Yeah.
That's a high expectation. But apparently where she was working, there was a lot of Asians and they didn't speak English, and that's why they hired them, so that they didn't have to speak to them. She
No.
doesn't work there anymore, let's put it that way.
Talking about new things, we learn new things and stuff when it comes to cannabis and this stuff. And last year was I did a little trial period on washing my weed, as they
Yeah,
call it,
that's right, yep, yep.
and so I was really surprised. I was always growing indoors, right? So here I did some dunking and had the initial pail as the wash pail. There's different recipes that people recommend, but I just went with half of the recommended peroxide, and I didn't use any baking soda. I'm thinking, does that baking soda end up dissolved and end up on your plants? I don't know.
That would leave residue.
Yeah. So, and there's other people talking about putting lemon juice in. So I just went the peroxide because
But wouldn't like when you're cleaning your bong to cut the resin, you use those kind of things, right? So if you want to cut, like I think that would cut the trichlome. I don't know.
the well, the alcohol removed the trichones. What
The peroxide too, or baking
peroxide doesn't remove the trichones.
no? Hmm,
No.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
I think it would.
They said 1 cup of peroxide per 5 liter jug, and 5 liter pail, and I thought I looked at the bottle of peroxide and I thought, geez,
Well, I
I
saw your buckets last year. They were
I
fairly
won't even I won't even get 2 pails out of one bottle. So
yeah.
yeah, no, I only use half the recommendation. That way, if there's any effect, it's not nasty.
But your buckets
Yeah,
were dirty. Like the
you,
water was dirty.
yeah, really, dude. I couldn't believe it. Like I couldn't
Oh,
even.
there was bugs floating in it.
I held the bud down, and I couldn't even see the bud in the pail. The water had gone that brown.
Well, from the dust, I can imagine, from being outside with the wind blowing at it and the
Well,
dust.
yeah, it's
And it's not in a controlled environment. So I understand washing outdoor. I do. Indoor,
yeah, and then there
actually,
was
you're in a controlled environment and it's clean and there's no dust. Well, probably is a little bit, but there's not like there is.
correct. Yeah, there would be. Yeah, there would be because I actually did find out that there can be some depending on what your environment is indoors. Yeah, you can end
Well,
up
if
with
you're
some.
in a house too, you're still running a furnace. So, of course, there's going to be dust, right?
There's gonna be dust. Yes, it happened to me. Okay, let me see. Oh, here we go. You probably can't see this. I don't know if you can see it or not. But can you see right there? It's sort of a fuzzy thing.
Yeah. We can't. Yeah, you can.
Yeah. Okay. Well, those things get washed off in the water. They don't get washed off if you don't wash them off. And
And
if you don't spot it while it's being trimmed, then it ends up in your plant and you smoke it.
what is that?
It looked like, think of a like a dandelion
Oh, yeah, that's
seed
what I was
with all
thinking.
its
Yeah,
white hairs.
like a pulling off a dandelion. Yeah, that's exactly what.
Yeah, something along that line there. I'm just seeing them all over the
For that
yard.
matter, if you smoked it, it probably wouldn't be that harmful to you. Like, if it's a dandelion, like,
Yeah.
outside, you wouldn't think it'd be harmful if you smoked it if it was.
No, I don't think it is, but
But again, do you wanna be
just
smoking
throwing
that?
it out.
Like,
Didn't
again,
there,
if
like,
you don't know what you're smoking, right? Like, so
yeah,
maybe
like someone said to me, "What about bird shit?"
that's true. And, bug shit and who knows what else they're,
Yeah.
crawling all over it at night, like.
So then I thought, okay, I went with the peroxide, just a little bit of the peroxide. Now as far as the water, some people say, "Well, you're washing it in water. What are you doing that?" Well, what falls out of the sky?
Yeah,
Water.
yeah,
Does it wash the trichomes off of your plants?
you know, yeah.
No, they're not water
And
soluble.
some people miss their plants with water. Like, when
Yeah,
what I mean? Like, some people miss them. Like, I know I
yeah.
used to miss mine to keep, like, the dust and stuff down, just, to give them some humidity. If your humidity in your room
Mm,
was too low, I would miss my plants.
yeah. Now there was times where I did as well, indoors. Outdoors I haven't because it rains, right?
Right?
But
But again, like I said, because if your humidity is not high enough in your room and you wanna boost it, you wanna put some moisture in the air to
yeah.
spray your plants with water.
Yeah,
I don't know, isn't that common sense? I don't know.
yeah, I'll throw a humidifier in there if it's not enough humidity.
I don't know, like I said, growing anything really isn't hard, but I guess depends on whether you've been around it ever. Like, if you've lived in, your whole life with not even having a house plant in your house, your mom didn't have house plants, or you never been interested in house plants, then you wouldn't know, right? And I mean,
Yeah. Well,
there's no
yeah.
shame in that. Like, I'm not saying there's any shame in you not knowing how to grow something. Lots of people don't. It's not
No.
it's fine, but
I
when we say, oh, it's just common sense, but for some people, maybe
It's
it's not.
not. I didn't know how to look after a plant when I started growing my cannabis, and
No.
I actually told Gail to let me water the house plants. That didn't last long, but to get me into a routine of having to water.
Right? And that's the thing, like, when we started growing, Alvin and Gord did most of it, right? Me and Brenda ended up being the trimmers. And then when Alvin busted up his knee when we lived in Coronation, the plants were downstairs and he couldn't go down. So
Yeah,
I didn't have a choice but to get in there and do all the work. And he was laid up for, like, the whole time. Like, there was no option. And I would spend 4 or 5 hours downstairs trimming and taking off dead leaves and making sure the clones were, it just, and transplanting, and it was a lot of work. And we were running, like I said, 200, almost 230, 30, well, 90, I guess, because we usually have more clones. You have about 50 or 60 clones going because they don't always live, right? So you just don't
correct.
know.
You always cut more than what you need because of the fact of death.
And if we could throw, like, an extra, like, if we had 35 in there, if we had room for an extra row of vegging or whatever, we would. And if we tried new strains, and I have seeds popping too, so you know what I mean? Like, so
Oh yeah.
our licensing was 198 plants, so I had the ability to work within that range, right?
Correct. Yep.
And yeah, it was a lot of work. And Taven was just like a baby, but thankfully, like I said, that Mindy was living with us too, so she helped me take care of Taven upstairs while I was downstairs doing the work. And if I needed help, she would come down and help me too.
So
So,
when
so we
people
had a
say,
we
"Well,
had a system set up with a
all you,
hose. I didn't even have to worry. Like, we had a bucket that I would put I had a
yeah.
sump pump in it, and I would just fill the bucket, do all the nutrients in the bucket, and then I had a handheld to water with, so that helped too, right?
Now it's not like what some people think it is. Oh, just throw a seed in some dirt and add water."
No,
No.
no, because I can't even pop seeds right now. I haven't even tried these ones, but I tried in the beginning of summer. Those seeds I had, mind you,
Mhm.
they were 110 years old, but I couldn't
Oh, I
pop
got some of them right here in front of me.
seeds in my life. Depending on this bag of seeds that I got from a customer when I worked at the garden center, I have no idea what any of them are. It's just a bag of random, who knows what.
Oh,
No idea.
so
Like,
no
and they
idea.
said they were all old school seeds, but
Yeah.
they're all in one baggie together. There's about 100 of them. but I have no idea what any one of them are. So it's a crapshoot.
Well, there you go. Like, surprise me.
I don't really care. Like, as long as they're not male, they turn out being female. And I don't really care because we're gonna need lots and lots and lots of cannabis to keep this program sustained. So 4 plants are being popped, and that's the way. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get into a quick conversation about the program when we get back from the break.
Okay.
Okay. There you go. Now you know what we're going to talk about when we get back from the break. We're going to talk about the program. Find out what the program is when we get back.
All right.
This is the Pace Radio Show. We're live here at paceradio.net. And I got to keep scrolling down. There we go.
We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net.
Limestone City Hydroponics is Kingston, Ontario's hydroponics shop. Take your growing to the next level and create the optimal environment with a tent kit, or maximize your yield with an ebb and flow flood table kit. Either way, Limestone City Hydroponics has more sizes and options to fit your needs. Are you looking for the power of the sun that adapts to your budget? Then look no further, as they have professional grow lighting. They have indoor grow systems that are easy and cost effective, with many options to fit your living space and lifestyle. Cultivate your growing potential. We have everything you need to succeed. And if you can't make it to the store, they offer local delivery to the greater Kingston area. Remember, when you're looking for experts to help you grow, then look no further than the locally owned Limestone City Hydroponics, 105 Sunderland Drive in Kingston, Ontario. Call them at 613-548-0420. Are you looking for non-stop, continuous cannabis and psychedelic programming? If you are, then turn your browsers to 420radio.ca or paceradio.net, where you will find the 420 Pace re-rolled Saturday. Everything gets started at 8 a.m. Eastern Saturday morning.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
Are you looking to get your medical cannabis grow license? Limestone City Hydroponics can help patients through the process of obtaining their license to grow medical cannabis. What's that? You don't have a doctor. If you meet the medical criteria, Limestone City Hydroponics has a nurse practitioner who can assess and provide medical cannabis prescriptions. What are you waiting for? Contact Limestone City Hydroponics at limestonecityhydroponics.ca or call them at 613-548-0420.
Pace Radio is the people advocating cannabis education radio network.
Legacy 420 have an awesome array of cannabis-infused beverages, from pop to Nature's Nectar's teas, all in amazing flavors. What a selection! We even have a delicious mango-infused juice, and let me tell you, it's delicious.
Everything is infused in-house, so we buy our syrup from the same place where everybody else buys their syrup for their pop, and the infusion is done in the lab. It's all canned here, labeled here, produced 100% on Tyndonega.
We have 2 lines of drinks. One's called our Nature's Nectar. That was our original line that we came out with, and then we also have a line under the Red E brand. We have them in 10 milligrams, 30 milligram, and 60 milligram cans.
What a great selection for a get-together with friends or after a long day. Remember, if you want to wet your whistle with on-site lab-tested products, come see your trusted partner. Legacy 420 out on your road.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
And you're watching the Pace Radio Show. And don't forget, if you ever miss our broadcast, you can always catch it at our website afterwards at paceradio.net, or check us out on YouTube. We're there as well.
Yep.
All right. In this segment, we're going to talk about what you're up to lately with the program, as well as I got a Canadian study, as well as somebody comes back to Canada. If we get to those. So Yeah. Program. How's things going?
Well, good. Actually, really good. We went out on Saturday. So this is the cannabis substitution program. We're taking, inspiration off the programs that are also running in Vancouver, Surrey, Langley, Ottawa, Saskatoon, Halifax. I believe there's a group in Calgary, but I haven't heard who. There's also Newton, British Columbia, that's also got a program going too. But
You here in Ontario?
not Ottawa.
Ottawa.
That's the spot that I've heard of, and no, I haven't heard of anything else, and nobody has reached out to any of us that know about it anyway.
Right.
But again, we're not all like affiliated. We're not we're not all
Correct. Correct.
together.
You're
We're
all
all
independent. You're
we're
all
all
independent.
We do
Yeah.
use the same logos though, because that's something that was inspired, and we do that because of Neil Magnuson. We're doing, work off of his legacy, right? And it is about him and his legacy as well. But last Saturday we went out. We took out 15 bags to begin with, and we ran out. Honestly, but in the bags we had chips and apples and roach clips and a little salve and a caramel and some cannabis and some papers and a piece of carrot cake. It was a medicated carrot cake. Like there was toques and mitts and socks and juice boxes and granola bars, and the bags were chocolate, like just kind of stuffed full of these little black bags. Actually, they were leftover bags from the Kootenai Cannabis Cup, so they were big swag bags, right?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so we stuffed them full and off we went. And I had gotten some cannabis from the CSP and and the gummies and stuff and the caramels from them. And we went off, and like I said, there's so much need. There's a woman out there that got cancer. So RSO is something that I'm desperately looking for her. There's also another one out there that's severely handicapped. She's got scoliosis. She's all hunched over. Um, and these are both people that were hooked on the opioids via the doctors, right? Because
Mhm.
one was in remission with her cancer, and then got cut off, but then got cancer again. I'm not sure her whole story. Like didn't have the whole time to get all of her details.
Right.
Same with the other one, living with a boyfriend. The doctor gave her the opioids and cut her off the boyfriend. Then, couldn't deal with her being in that much pain all the time. So she ended up on the streets. There's nowhere to go, no job, can't work, no money. So, like I said, this is just two stories. Never mind, one of them up there is a person that I know's kid, right? One of the kids that actually yanked off Taven's bike when it was
Oh
stolen.
yeah.
Oh, and he's still out there. So, you know what I mean? And they've got tents and like kind of like tarps and little shacks built up behind the soccer fields in our town. And the city put a toilet out there, but has it locked and won't let them use it.
It has a locked door,
Yeah,
so they can't use it.
right. They
So
stayed at
is
the
the toilet there for the soccer fields? Then is
No,
that
no,
what?
no. The soccer fields are over, right? This is in behind the soccer field. It's like nowhere near the soccer field itself, right? It's in behind it, so it's in the forest behind it, kind of thing, right? But
Right.
it's in within city property. But the city had put a bathroom out there, and I was told that it was open as long as the firefighters were out there, and because they had the firefighters, kind of that's why this area was cleared out during the summer for the firefighters to stay there when they were fighting fires, right? So they put this bathroom out there for them, but then they were told that they could use it. As soon as the firefighters all packed up and left and the fires were done, the city locked it.
No.
So the homeless are still back in that tree line behind where the firefighters were kind of staying. And the city had told other people they were going to let these people have some dignity and leave the door open. And we found out that it's
Locked. Eh? So your cannabis substitution program now. You're also dealing with people who are homeless, but
addicted.
people dealing with drug addiction.
Right. And again, I also like on my business cards, I just put my phone number so that people can text me, right? And what
Yeah.
it is, then if you're not houseless, if you've got an alcohol problem and you need some medicine to maybe, divert you from drinking that day,
Yeah.
I will bring it to you. Like I will meet you somewhere. Like I'm not gonna if you don't want me coming to your house, I'll meet you at the corner. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna have people coming to my house, but I will get in my car and I will drive it to you. If I've got it, I'm gonna take it to them because we're gonna go out to Moyer Park again on Saturday and deliver it out there. it's too hard for all these people to get, because we're rural and we're kind of spread out downtown. I get set up at anchors is what, like during the week there when they've got programs and stuff, but because Saturdays there's nothing going on but farmers markets and stuff, so they try and stay out of the downtown area. They don't like being around the normal people, to be honest. They're not, these people aren't necessarily, oh yay, look at me, I'm a, drug addicted homeless person, right? They're ashamed. They don't want to be seen in public. The stigma that goes along with the way they're living their lifestyles is harsh, right? And they feel it.
Yeah.
So they are very humble people. I was really shocked. I didn't feel threatened at all. I didn't feel like I was like accosting on their like, you know what I mean? They were very humble, very grateful. Anything they were so thankful. And I said, you don't have to thank me. If this is going to help you, don't thank me. I will bring you more, right? I will bring you what you need. Like, I will bring you more. So the first bags I only had like 28 to work with. So I only gave them each like a gram, which I don't feel is enough, to be fair, when you're trying to.
It's only a joint or two, right?
Only a joint or two, right? So I need to, that's why, when I'm saying I need more. And I'm not gonna be shameless about it when I ask for money, I don't, and you know me, I don't like asking for anything.
No, I know.
That really is important, and it's not for me. This is not for me. This has got nothing to do with me. This is for them, right? And it's all free. Like, I would not a dime from them. Like I said, if I have to go out and pick bottles out of the ditch to fund this myself, I will, because that's how important it is for them, and they will now rely on that. So if they're trying to come off, anything, they're going to be looking for that. They're going to want, and maybe the little bit of money they've got, they will go to the store and buy something, or they'll, like, seek out cannabis rather than seeking out meth.
Yeah. It'd be interesting because, like, last Saturday, like you said, it was your first Saturday there. For you when you go back this Saturday, by then, word gets around, and it'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, all over town. I left them at the pot stores. Like, I want them to, and they know I will be there at 2:00. And I've set up, like, there's a place, because my car's, the exhaust is falling off. I kind of
right, it's a little loud.
It sounds a lot more. So I can't go up the goat trails because it's in the bush. Like, it's kind of like a 4x4 kind of thing. When we got there, I was like, holy shit, we haven't put my truck in 4x. I'm like, maybe, right? But there's this area where there's a sea can, and there's a couple picnic tables set up. And I'm just going to pull my car, and I'm going to put everything in the back, and I'm going to put everything in bags. I like, this week, I probably won't get the brown bags because I've ordered them online. Like I said, that very nice donation that I got from Miss Hemrick yesterday from City is pretty much gone. I spent it as quickly as I got it. And I ordered gummies.
Well, because you went out, obviously, and as you're going to tell us, you purchased things with it. It's not there for you to bank to save money per se, especially when you're first getting started.
Well, the first donation is like $119, right? So my friend sent me like $5, and another lady sent me $50, and another lady came into the store and gave me $60. I had already sent that away for gummies before this even landed. Because you know what I mean? Because I knew I was going to need something for Saturday, right? And I felt better. I could make cookies, but I needed something more. And I knew that I would get a better, more where I purchased from than going out to the res, because they're not going to give me the deals that I just got, right? Because I'm getting pretty much triple what I would get for the price of one. You know what I mean?
Good. So you're getting more for the buck.
Right. And I also purchased some decent cannabis, like a half pound, because I know I'm going to need it. Like, a couple ounces is terrific, but that's like maybe one Saturday, maybe not even Saturday. Like, 1 ounce is not, I hate to say that, but it might be just enough. It might not be enough. You know what I mean? It's hard to
like an ounce, really, if you look at that, if you're trying to give them at least 2 grams.
Right, and that's only
only a dozen people, really.
Right.
Yeah.
And when I've got 40, at least minimally, because like I said, we took 15 bags out, and then Josh took another 4 or 5 out like the next day, so that's 20. And then Nicole came and picked up another 2. So that was 22 bags. And then I've got another one sitting here for this other guy that comes into my store. And then I've got another 2 sitting over here for 2 other people that Nicole's coming to pick up for tonight.
Wow.
So that's almost 30 bags. And that
Yeah.
pretty much taps me out. Like I said, I had to go to the store. I didn't have to, but I went to the store and I bought 20 joints. So the cannabis that I had, because that was before yours got here, and now I've got that to add too, right? But
Right.
I went and bought joints at the store because I
Right.
had to. Like I didn't have like what do? You got nothing left. So
Well, hopefully they're kind with you at the store, as kind as they could be.
well, they gave me the cheapest ones that they had, and they gave me their staff discount, which is all they can do for me. But that's better
Yeah.
than a kick in the teeth. So it's 10%. It's not a lot, but hey, it only cost me. I think they were 19.99 for 10 joints, and I paid 17.99 for 2 packs. So I think it cost me like $40 for 2 packs with the
Oh,
taxes all.
okay.
And that's 20 joints, right? So
Yeah.
pretty much $2 a joint,
Yeah.
which isn't that bad.
And you know, as you mentioned, you know, you're just getting started, so you do need supplies. You know,
Yeah.
there's not always guarantee for now, just getting started, that you're gonna have cannabis.
No.
And if this gets you some more comes in, and you've got these 40 joints, that's, you know,
Oh, they're
that
gone.
you
I've
can
already given
save
those
for the
away.
next weekend.
I know those 40 joints are gone already. It was
Yeah.
20 joints. Yeah, 20 joints and they're gone. I think I got 2
Gone.
left. Because I topped up those bags and then I got these 2 other bags.
Mm-hmm.
And I put 3 joints in each bag plus a caramel and a piece of carrot cake plus an apple and a bag of chips and roach clip. Like I said, I've got those roach clips left from my like the cannabis cup, right? So I'm just
Yeah,
realizing
yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
they
Use them
have
up.
there too, right?
Yeah.
Might as well. They're just sitting here, like they're not doing like so. Yeah, I just throw a roach clip in too. Why not?
Now, as far as it sounds like a couple of ladies, you know, you had some conversations um with them. Everybody, I'm gonna assume, was really thankful and appreciated
There's
what you were doing.
yeah, there. Like I said, there's one fellow out there who's got schizophrenia, and that fellow that I was telling you about before, Daryl Frey, he's gonna send me out some tinctures and stuff from his stuff for this guy
Oh
with
yeah,
schizophrenia. So we'll give it a whirl.
yeah,
CBD,
well,
CBDNs and
then donations, taking in
it's
donations.
I'm taking them.
Yeah,
Take,
well, you
you don't know. You
now
don't know.
now that you've done it the one Saturday, and you excuse me, and that you've mentioned it, talked about it online. Do you find that more people are reaching out to you, sending you messages or
Yeah, there's a few.
offers of assistance in any way?
Well, I've got a few that have, like I said, they've walked and talked and did right. The stuff's
Right.
arrived. It's already here. The money's already come in.
Good.
Yeah. So yeah, absolutely. And I've got people that have offered, and they will. Like I got another lady that said she'd take me out there Saturday from town here too. Right. Like if
Right.
my car's
Yeah.
not great, she goes, "I'll take you out there." So I need all the help from all hands on deck. But it
Yeah.
takes a
And
village to do this, and I need local people too to actually step up and actually do the work. Right.
yeah.
And thankfully, I've got Nicole, who works at Anchor at the drug testing place here, and Josh, who has been my moderator on one of my road pages for like 5 years. So I've known Josh for a long time. He brought me Tika's ashes. That's how long I've known this guy. He picked it up from me,
Wow. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
anyways, yeah. So he was out there because unfortunately his son has been touched by addiction, and he's a youth. He's under the age of 19.
Well, you're in the
He
same boat, right?
Yeah, well, mine's 32 this coming month, but his is under the age of 19. He was living out there too, his son. So because of that, he knows everybody out there, and he was able to come with me, and they trust him too. And
Good.
that's what I needed was an introduction. But like I
Yep.
said, there's no threatening, but there's dogs out there, there's cats out there, there's young couples out there, there's First Nations peoples out there, there's senior citizens out there. It's just a whole array of different folk.
Wow. Yeah.
Like it's crazy. It really is.
Now, I'm gonna assume you're gonna be going to the same place every Saturday, same
Well,
time. Friday.
there's
You
well,
gotta be consistent for the people, right?
yeah, 2 o'clock on. We're going back tomorrow, but there's also 3 other camps in town that I haven't even touched yet.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
We were gonna go hit the one behind Lord Co. Off the strip here on Saturday too. That one I'm not so sure, but apparently it's more drug infested and ran by somebody that sells drugs. So I'm not sure. I don't know if I'm comfortable about that. And then
Right.
there's one out on the highway too towards
You're out there to help people who are addicted to drugs. You're not out there to sell them any
right. But
drugs
again,
or other
right.
things.
If this they think I'm trying to cut their grass or take their customers away by giving them cannabis,
Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. It's like this the old days of prohibition, right?
right?
Are you stepping on someone else's territory?
Yeah, so that might be a skip. And if the people there know where I'm going to be, they can always make their way there if they want to. I am not out looking for trouble. That's for sure. I just want to help people, and I don't need to ruffle feathers of any of the who knows what. I don't know because I don't know what goes on.
Yeah,
I
correct.
don't
Yeah.
use those drugs. I don't know who sells those drugs in town. I don't want to. That's not my goal here. I want to help people
Right.
that
Yeah, you're there to help people dealing with addictions.
yeah,
And
and if they want help, if they don't want it, then they don't have to take it. Like when we rolled up there, we asked them straight up, "You want some free weed?" They're like, "Yeah, yeah, man." Like what? Like, and everybody,
I'm sure that
not one person said, "No, we don't smoke cannabis." You got some weed? We wish we had more weed. Like because they don't want to go to the store, they don't have money, right? They can't
no,
just
I don't
buy it.
have
It's
money.
not available anymore on the street very well in town here. I don't know anybody who's selling weed in town, to be honest. And I used to know, but I
A
don't
bunch of
know.
people.
The stores, everybody just goes to the store now. It's easier. So, but yeah, so they don't have access. So yeah, when we rolled in with some free weed and some edibles and fresh fruit, that apple, some of them were just like, oh. So like I don't know if they use the food banks. I don't know where they're getting their food. I don't ask. Those are none of my business questions, right?
Right,
Let
right.
that judge ask. I'm just there to give them whatever, give them some medicine, give them some
Give them
natural
some
medicine.
medicine
Yeah, and hope that they might, not smoke meth, smoke weed, and not meth, or smoke weed and not
and
meth, or smoke weed and not whatever the hell you're smoking or snorting.
yes,
Smoke
yes.
more weed.
Hey, now is there anything else that you want to mention about the program?
No, but just send money or donations, please.
And obviously, it's you appreciate all donations,
Everything. I am not
and
saying, but again,
those
like I
ones
said,
who can do a continuous
yeah,
in order
sponsorship.
to make the program survives or
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
sponsorships would be great. Again, like I mentioned, I'm not trying to be a pot snob, but if you won't smoke it, don't send it, please, because these
yeah,
people don't deserve any disservice. They don't need to be smoking crap because we want to divert them. We don't want to divert them from smoking cannabis. We want to encourage them to smoke cannabis rather than meth.
yeah,
So if you give them stuff that's not going to help them, they're not going to use it.
yeah.
Just saying.
Well, sorry, mine is residency, and
Oh,
it gets.
beautiful. I had to take a picture. It was so pretty. And post it. It was so pretty. I'm like, look at
No, that was that my bud. I
yeah.
saw that.
Yeah, it was. That was yours. Yeah, damn straight. I got there and it was like, oh my god, look at this stuff. It's so pretty. And I, like I said, I just admire it because you do such a beautiful job with it, right down to the smell. It's got everything. It's beautiful.
Good. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, great, great, great medicine, Alan. I really, really, really appreciate what your gifts because, like I said, that's going to help at least a dozen people, right? At
Yeah.
least, and
Yeah.
that's like 12 more. And like I said, when I've got coming, will help 12 more. Like I said, we just got to keep on. And I'm like I said, I don't
Yeah.
really
Keep
ask
on
for.
gifting. Keep on gifting.
Like I said, I don't ask for anything, but this is like something I'm going to be shameless about because if I don't get what they need, I can't help them. And that's it, bottom line, right?
Right.
And I
Yeah.
just want people to help me help them. That's it. This isn't about me. This is about them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yep.
All
Yep.
righty. Now, as I mentioned as we were going into the break, about a Canadian study that is going on, and Sante Cannabis, Aaron Prozac. Yeah,
Oh,
long. That's the name from a long time ago.
I was just thinking, do I know that person? Doesn't that name sound
Yes.
familiar? Aaron, what?
Yeah. This is Real. Riel Kaplan, back,
Capper, yeah.
well, Aaron's from back in that era of time. Is
Like
basically
Sarah
right.
and Sarah Black era kind of thing.
Mm.
Ooh, oh, look at that. That's awesome.
And what they are doing is they are doing they're launching a new study this week that will look at the outcome and effectiveness of different medical cannabis treatments.
Is Riel
So
doing this?
they've got 3,000 people that they're going to use for this experiment, this study. And it's got it's got companies involved. They're just doing the research, but Aurora, Tilray, and a company called Ventura. They're based out of Singapore, actually.
Is Lucas still involved with Tilray? I don't think he is he?
Pardon me?
Is Philip Lucas still involved with Tilray?
I don't know if Philip is or not. And Philip's from his early days, same as Aaron here.
Yeah, and Riel's from Vancouver, so they're all from the West Coast.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I know them.
So what they want to do is they want to study, and they will say they will investigate outcomes of a new wave of medical cannabis products, including capsules, tablets, and sublingual products. So I would think like I've seen these like little patches you can stick under your tongue, and I've seen some that you can stick down beside your teeth and your gum.
Also like non-smokable medicine.
Correct. Yeah, these are all non-smokable.
I like smoking it.
Oh yeah, so do I. But not everybody does. So they're looking at capsules and tablets, as well as I mentioned it. As well as new cannabinoid formulations such as CBD and CBG.
Interesting.
Yeah, and they're right here. They say, well, medical cannabis has been legally accessible in Canada for almost 25 years. There are still many unanswered questions to support its therapeutic benefits, and that's what we've been saying for years. Cannabis has been legal for patients for all this time, but yet
it's been many shows since I said this.
Yeah,
but until they recognize cannabis as medicine, they're never going to get around the rest of it.
That's right. Yeah, you say it all the time.
Like, hello.
Yeah.
I've been saying that for a decade. Like, Jesus Christ. But again, I'm glad to see that they're doing something. I know that Riel had done a study prior to something about this as well. Not this much, but I think it was the outcomes of how many people used medical cannabis.
Yeah. So they said there's still many unanswered questions, and as far as for things such as chronic pain, epilepsy, sleep, anxiety, depression, plus more. Let's see. Let's see what else it says about this study. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about all I'm saying. So it's good to see that they are doing a study, and we're always saying, well, they always say there's lack of studies, and this is one that's being done.
That's good because we need that done, and we've needed that done since the very beginning. Like from the beginning of medical cannabis, the government should have been paying attention, and they weren't. They're 25 years behind on this.
Yeah,
25 fucking years behind.
At one time, Quebec you had to register there with your medical gardens and stuff. It's just in the province, never mind federally, but the province wanted it as well. But I think that was a missed opportunity to allow patients to be involved in some type of research or study, that the government could have collected all this data from patients who voluntarily chose in order to allow their information to be used in order to further research.
The fact that they basically put our information out to the public, and we've never heard anything more about that lawsuit.
Oh, the white envelope. Well, I hear about it every once in a while.
Yeah, they're still fighting about it.
No, Gail will say something to me. You ever hear anything about that lawsuit?
You're gonna get $10 off that lawsuit. Everybody's like, oh yeah, we're gonna get some money. What? It's been 20 years already. What has it been? 10 years, and we haven't seen and we're each gonna get $10. Like, seriously, like, after the lawyers get done taking what they're going to take, if there's any payout ever, we'll get $10.
She says, "I hope not."
What are you expecting, Gail? Are you expecting some money? Because I don't think we're going to see any money. Because I got one of them envelopes. My name's on that list, and I absolutely expect $10. In fact, I expect a swift kick in the ass with a stiff boot. I expect nothing from that. Like,
you think it'll all go to the fees?
I think the lawyers, once they're done taking their cut, there won't be anything left for the patients. This has been in litigation for how long? We haven't heard shit about it. We don't even know if they settled it, because they could have ran away with all the money. They're going
10 years. 10 years.
Right? Yeah, but again, it took the military, and it took the military and the RCMP 12 years to get that $800 million from the government.
12 years.
12 years, and it would take 12 years of litigation, and at the end of the day, I think they each got 800. They got, I think, then was $800 billion to pay out for all of them, and I think they each got 800 million each, or something.
Wow. 800 million each.
Well, it was maybe not that much. I can't remember, but it was, because Arlene, remember
Gail says she'd take that.
Yeah, I would too. But no, remember Arlene that used to be with Kelly Christie, Crazy Diamond Seeds? Arlene from Nova Scotia. Her husband was one of those military soldiers that got that payout, and it was substantial. It was like substantial. It was I didn't ask you. It was none of my business, but yeah, it was substantial.
Before we go to break, I pulled it up on my phone. I have that lawsuit as a bookmark in my phone so that I can always check it for updates. And the last update was done in January of
2020?
2024. 2024.
Oh, they updated. That's
this
almost
year.
Yeah,
correct.
But it's almost a year ago.
And they said that on December the 6th of 2023, the federal court released its reasons for decision granting the plaintiffs' summary judgment application heard in October of 2023. The decision can be found here. That's another link. In summary, the court dismissed the plaintiff's claim for breach of confidence, but found that Health Canada owed the class members a duty of care and that the duty owed in the circumstances was breached. The court determined that the class members' damages claims for negligence may be pursued by individual trials or assessments, the process for which will be determined at an upcoming case management conference. Further details on the process will be posted when they are determined by the court. Now I'm clicking on that link.
So in other words, you get fucking nothing.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound promising, Al.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
Does not sound promising. Again, like but again, they're thinking about us not being people because it was cannabis patients. We don't count.
Big statement. I'm looking for one that says decision. Whatever is that?
Decision is you get nothing.
This is
but we could litigate individually. So
it's going through all the complainant stuff right now.
You can take them to court and waste more money in the courts for the courts to go nada. So the courts can suck more money out of you. No, I'm good. I wasn't counting on a trip to anywhere or paying off my mortgage anyway. So
this is long. Just so you know, I'm still scrolling through it.
Oh yeah, it's probably about a bunch of fucking legal jargon that you can't even understand.
Well, they're going through all the evidence, and the defendant submits this, and the.
Oh, so it's a whole transcript then.
Oh yeah. I'm at the canlii.org site. They always have legal stuff.
No, I'm basically.
Okay, well, I'm going to go to break, and I'll just keep looking through it during break. and we'll just go from there and see what happens.
See if we can find something about nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of like buying a lottery ticket.
After break we go. We'll get... All right. You're watching the Pace Radio Show. We're live here at paceradio.net and see you in about 3 minutes.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. Open Monday to Friday from 10 till 7 p.m. or by chance. Check out our flags, our t-shirts, plus our hats. And look of that supply of rolling papers, plus much more. We've got bongs and your favorite herbal vaporizers. Look at all the incense we have, as well as for those who collect knives, check out these knives in our collection. And while you're here, stop in to see Shay at the piercing room, where you can get poked by Shay. Daily deals, check them out. Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford, Ontario.
When you have a pain that's reached its peak, Legacy for 20, it's so unique. If organic cannabis is what you seek, here's your trusted partner 7 days a week. Suppository salves, bakes and drops, topicals, edibles, infused pop. Just when life seems like it ain't easy, at Legacy 420, enjoy a pop freezy. Lab tested products, make them the GOAT. Legacy 420 out on your road. Legacy 420 in Tyendinaga Mohawk territory. Indigenous organic cannabis at its finest.
What do you find at paceradio.net? People advocating cannabis education.
Limestone City Hydroponics is Kingston, Ontario's hydroponics shop. Take your growing to the next level and create the optimal environment with a tent kit, or maximize your yield with an ebb and flow flood table kit. Either way, Limestone City Hydroponics has more sizes and options to fit your needs. Are you looking for the power of the sun that adapts to your budget? Then look no further, as they have professional grow lighting. They have indoor grow systems that are easy and cost effective, with many options to fit your living space and lifestyle. Cultivate your growing potential. We have everything you need to succeed. And if you can't make it to the store, they offer local delivery to the greater Kingston area. Remember, when you're looking for experts to help you grow, then look no further than the locally owned Limestone City Hydroponics, 105 Sunderland Drive in Kingston, Ontario. Call them at 613-548-0420. Are you looking for non-stop, continuous cannabis and psychedelic programming? If you are, then turn your browsers to 420radio.ca or paceradio.net, where you will find the 420 Pace re-rolled Saturday. Everything gets started at 8 a.m. Eastern Saturday morning.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
Hey, you're back. Now you're back. Uh-oh. And she's got a mouthful of food, so I'll just keep on talking.
I was off the side. I bought myself a whistle dog before. Yeah. Starving.
Trying to squeeze some dinner in.
Right. I worked all day. I went and got my toes done, and then came home and I bought tea and some food on the way, so I grabbed a whistle dog.
Okay, here we go. I found it.
Good.
For those who just joining us, we were talking about the court breach. Those are the white envelopes that everybody's address was exposed to, as far as saying it's a medical cannabis letter.
And that was over 10 years ago, because I was living in Coronation like 10 years. So that was 2012.
Okay, the court's judgment is that the plaintiff's motion for summary judgment is granted. The common questions are answered as noted above. The plaintiffs have not established a breach of confidence by Health Canada. The plaintiffs have established that Health Canada owed them a duty of care and that the duty owed in the circumstances was breached. However, the plaintiffs have not established that the defendant is liable for any damages caused to the class members. The plaintiff's claims for negligence may be pursued by individual trials or assessments. The process will be determined by case management following the issuance of this judgment. Number 5, no costs are ordered.
So in other words, somebody has to pay for court costs.
No.
Not the plaintiff or the defendant.
No, and it says that if you want to further this, then it's up to the individual person to do so.
So if it didn't really affect your life in any way, you'd have no case to bear it on anyway. But if you were somebody that said lost your employment, or were, your landlord saw it and you got evicted, or those kind of circumstances, then you might have a leg to stand on.
Yes.
If not, like me, didn't affect my life in any way. It didn't. Not going to say it did, because it didn't. I mean, I didn't. We were loud and proud.
You had to carry this envelope around for the last 10 years.
Right? Like, it didn't affect, because like I said, it's not like my name hasn't been in the paper, or we weren't out protesting and our names weren't out there already. I wasn't hiding.
And that's the stuff that they would fire back at you as far as...
right. And again, like, it didn't affect my life, so I wouldn't bother. Yeah, I wouldn't bother pursuing that. But I mean, at least they tried.
Yeah, if it was part of a class action thing and it was, paid out to everybody, that's one thing.
I mean, if they had really, like, it had caused, reputable damage to a whole bunch of people, like, but it really didn't. Like, I mean, like I said, I didn't hear of anybody being evicted or losing their jobs or their doctor dumped them, or, you know what I mean, over a piece of paper that they got in the mail. No man ran around and told everybody that there's a cannabis patient there. Then you'd have to go after that person for spreading, whatever, malicious rumors or whatever. If it's true, it's not slander either. So there's really nothing you can do about it. So they were lying about what they were saying. It's the truth. But again, breach of privacy, right?
Right. Exactly. All righty. Now let's get into that discussion that was brought up at the very beginning. And I said, oh, no, we'll discuss that sometime later on.
Right.
And that is what's going on down in the U.S. when it comes to cannabis and the federal laws. As everybody's well aware, the U.S. is in a presidential election. Going into the election, the Democrats were already working on rescheduling of cannabis from a Schedule 1 to a Schedule 3.
Which didn't make anybody very happy.
Huh?
It didn't make anybody happy. It wasn't.
No, it wasn't very. Yeah, there was some people that were happy, but not a lot of people were as happy as they thought they would be.
When you looked at the way they broke it down,
correct. Yeah, it was going to help with the 280E tax code for businesses, but there was no legalization. There was no decriminalization. There was
systems. It wouldn't change anything.
Right. There was there was no nothing with it. A lot of people were saying, deschedule it, take it out of the CSA, out of their drug laws completely. CSDA. Yeah. So many different short forms out there these days. But so this week, Kamala Harris has come out and she has said that she says to break down unjust legal barriers that hold Black men and other Americans back. She promises to fully legalize cannabis nationwide. And she says with Congress to ensure that the safe cultivation, distribution, and possession of recreational cannabis is the law of the land. Now, Trump has come out in support of the rescheduling that is already in the works, and he has come out in favor of legalizing, like, states' rights to legalizing cannabis. Let the states
everything to the states, because Trump doesn't want to be responsible for anything. He seems to think that each state's got its own sovereign, like, little land, and he's just like the leader of all these little lands. Like,
now, states just like provinces here in Canada, we have our own laws in the states. I think they push a little bit more on the independence end of things of their lands and their laws. But I look at it as, okay, sure, you want to allow the states to make their own decision on it. By all means, allowing the states, just like we have here in Canada, where the provinces can, introduce laws and regulations and so on and so forth.
But the regulations are not laws here. That's the difference. Right?
Same as okay. Above what is done federally.
But they're not within the limits, right? Like
right. There's a certain standard set by the federal, and then the provinces can do correct. So that's what I'm saying. Whereas if you just allow this, if you still have it illegal federally, and you allow just the states to determine, what prevents a state from, who knows, coming up with some draconian jail sentences?
They already still do.
Yeah. And like, we have, some laws here of legalization I completely disagree with.
But they're more likely to fine people and take the stuff rather than charge them.
There's a difference between the different convictions, whether it's an indictable conviction or whether it's a summary conviction. And if there's laws, like we have our 30-gram limit, or possession limit. We don't have any limit on the amount of alcohol that you can, carry or buy. Right?
Why do I have this 150-gram limit in my head? When did they change that?
Oh, that's because of the court decision on the medical patients. The 150 grams it was Judge Fallon's.
Medical could carry, but not recreational.
Correct. Recreational is only 30 grams, but you can carry more than 30 bottles of beer.
Oh yeah, you can.
Right. So that those things like that need to be I just
think that those are just
corrected.
And they don't tell you how many bottles of beer you can make, or what they tell us, you can only grow 4 plants, but you could have 60 beer making.
Yeah.
It's in the basement making like 300 bottles of beer a week, and nobody's gonna say anything.
No, but you're only allowed to produce, what is it? Is it 30 pounds of tobacco? Something like that. There's a limit
on that. And you only have 4 plants to grow.
Yeah.
Right. So you're not producing, well, unless it's, outside like you are, you're not producing. Like if you're in the city, there's no way you're producing 2 pounds per plant, like
no.
But I bet again, like if you're like where you're able to, not everybody's able to do that. So
no.
Average, most people aren't getting that.
I look at by keeping it only to the states, the law won't be applied evenly across the country. And that was one of the issues came here in Canada, was that the law wasn't evenly applied across the country.
Right.
And if you've got states that allow people to be jailed for 5 years for growing a cannabis plant, whereas other states allow people to grow 6 plants.
Right. But again, if you're crossing state lines and have a bag of weed with you because your state's legal,
right?
One in between the 2 legal ones isn't. You have to tippy toe through that state with your weed so that you go around. Like, you know what I mean? Like, why make it more difficult for people than it already is? Just federally legalize it, make it so it's across the board, and let the fucking states have their own little regulations. I guess they already do. And
exactly. Yeah. How even here in Ontario, we allowed municipalities to opt out. They have that down in the States.
Everybody does. Every province has that ability. Like every province that gave every municipality the ability to opt out, but they also then don't get any tax money, right? And as it is, the provinces get 75% of that tax base, and then it's trickled down to the municipalities that have stores.
Yeah, we got.
And the federal government only takes 25% of that tax.
Yeah,
so the government's filling their pockets. The provincial governments are.
Provincials
they can build community safety units and fucking screw us over more. Like
our municipality got $5,000
for what? The store?
Because they opted out.
They got $5,000 because
that's what they got.
Why would they get anything?
That was by opting out, they got $5,000 just to cover any expenses that they would have incurred to that point. Yeah, there was that.
That just doesn't even make it. That sounds like crying money. Like, you know what I mean? Like crying money.
I have to look it up, and we haven't got time to look it all up. But yeah, it was $5,000. I don't think we do. Yeah, give me time. Give me time. Maybe. Yeah.
Here's $5,000. Shut the fuck up and go away. Now, what are they going to do that they got a store? Are they going to get that $5,000 back? Like,
I don't think so. No.
How does that work? Like, you got $5,000 for not taking one. Now you got store, so you're going to get that money. Like, so you just got $5,000 for saying no, and now you just get more money.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm
I'd be making them give it back.
almost done. It takes longer to type out things. You know, I feel sorry for people with big thumbs.
Alvin has the fat finger syndrome, he calls it. Fat fingeritis, he says.
Yeah.
But yeah. But again, there's so many different regulations. In different counties in the States, they have their counties, and their counties seem to be.
Yeah.
We've got different counties too. We've got, like, if you live rural outside of the city limits, the RDEK has different regulations for their area than the RDEK over here, right? So, if you let all these little entities have all this power, you're going to end up with a bunch of power hungry people that don't have a clue, and that's unfortunate, because that's what's seemingly happening. Is you got a bunch of power hungry people trying to, I don't know what.
Yeah.
Tell us what we can and can't grow, and tell us what we can and can't consume, and tell us how many, this and that we can't have. And, I guess we should be just damn grateful we got legalization at all. Honestly. Like, or a medical program at all. Because, when we sat back, think about 12 years ago, before we had we were all still looking over our shoulders, even with our medical papers. You had to pack them around with you all the time. If you were seen in public with a joint, you're pulling out your papers and, showing the cop that you were a patient. And recreational people didn't have that option. They were still getting charged.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I know. We got asked for our licenses because I was wearing a cannabis leaf hoodie.
Yeah.
I wasn't even smoking joints. Okay, so here you go. Municipalities that opted out of hosting private retail stores received $5,000 each. Municipalities that did not opt out of hosting private retail stores received funding on a per household basis, adjusted so each received at least $5,000 each. So no municipality received less than $5,000
for opting out.
Yeah, even if you didn't, if you opted in, but if you could receive $5,000, if you basically didn't receive anything else. They wanted to make sure that everybody got at least $5,000. That's the way I'm looking at it.
Okay, so and that's in Ontario, though. I don't know how.
Yeah, correct.
So what is
a final payment?
Okay, so what are they each getting per store? Are they getting any tax dollar? Does it say how much they're getting in tax dollars for having stores? Because I wonder what that would be. That would be interesting to find out too. Like what?
It could be on here somewhere, but it's mentioning more along the line of households.
So per household. So if they're getting dollar amount per household, so that's how population. So say there's 20,000,
and yeah, they all got a minimum of $5,000.
Okay, so if you have 20,000 people, then you're getting what? Times $5,000 times 20,000.
50 cents, 25 cents
per person. Would it be?
So, well, that's for the math that comes quickly into my head. 5,000 is a quarter of $20,000. $1 a piece be $20,000. You only get a quarter of that, so
right,
25 cents. Ooh, big dough.
Yeah, like something I said, it's kind of like that. We're gonna get $10 out of that.
Yeah. So yeah, Harris has come out with legalization federal. As I mentioned, Trump was his on the state end of things. Now, She says, I feel strongly that people should not be going to jail for smoking cannabis.
On an average, a BC municipality gets $11.5 million per year from the BC government for cannabis.
Oh, wow, right? $11 million.
$11.5 million per year. So I'm going to have to ask Cranbrook City Council why my taxes have gone through the roof if they're getting $11 fucking million from the fucking government for fucking weed.
Yeah.
Where's that money? That pisses me off. So they've got a calculation here. Of the 3-year total reported increments costing of $15.2 million using a 44% of the population would equate to $34.6 million for an average of approximately. So that's what the total for taxation for cannabis per year for the province, $34.6 million. So they per population 44. So each an average of approximately $11.5 million per year in increments costs to BC local governments.
There you go.
We estimate the cannabis industry has supported $15.1 billion in government tax revenues for Canada and $3.0 billion in tax revenues for Ontario between 2018 and 2021. $3 billion just for Ontario.
Lots of money. Yeah, where's it all going?
15.1 billion in government tax revenues. How much taxes has?
Now, to finish off this Harris campaign thing and the promise of federal legalization, there isn't a lot of information on what she's looking at other than the fact that she had mentioned about the cultivation and distribution and all that. There's not a lot of details here. And at the end, it confirms what I was saying about what Trump says. He supports rescheduling, safe banking access for cannabis businesses, and state rights to enact reform. So do you want federal legalization or do you want independent states to decide? No. I look at federal. Well, obviously, I'm in support of federal legalization of it instead of states. Like, because you got your interstate commerce. You can't. Well, you can't. They can't ship it across state line. And as you said, like people traveling from one state to crossing over 2 states, somewhere in there's going to be a place that might not be legal, and might get their car confiscated, which could lead to
some very hardships. Well, you lose your car, it's going to cost you money. You might be able to lose your job if you can't get there because your car. You know what I mean? There are so many consequences with coming along with that, right?
Yeah, and it's it's just such a risk that I look at. There's some places where I can see a draconian law where people will serve 5 years or longer for just growing some plants.
Yeah, I just don't, like I said, just the patchwork, right? Like at least in Canada, like it's standard. There's federal law. You can't do this, this, and this. And in provinces, it's not so much law; it's regulations. But it's standard been made by the federal government, like the 4-plant limit. That's a federal thing. Like they can either tell you can or you can't do those 4 plants, but they can't tell you can't do any less or any more, right?
Yeah.
If it was provincial, why couldn't the province say, well, we're not getting, Quebec says you can't grow any, so why doesn't BC say, hey, well, you can have 10, right? Like if the you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and the federal law is 4 or less.
So again, you can either do 4 or less. If the federal government, so that the regulations for growing would have to be at the federal level to change that.
And that's like the provinces can set their own age at 18, 19, 20, 21, whatever they want to do. And there's still freedom there for them to make decisions, and I don't see why that couldn't be applied south of the border as well.
And like BC did, it means like on all sovereign, like on all territory.
Yeah,
so that means not just have a dispensary like the res has, like they do, like the Tendananga in Ontario. They don't allow that here. That's why they busted those ones out in Osoyoos, because they don't care if it's First Nations land or not. The Cannabis Act of British Columbia states all areas.
Yeah, well, I hope that they would.
I hope they would. I dropped
I
that
have
too.
the
I
First
think
Nations people at the table when they do those negotiations and all those
guess
discussions.
what? We had a conservative Christy Clark government when
Yeah,
and that's who wrote the Cannabis Act. It wasn't the government we have now. It was the one prior,
why
which
didn't
was
they change it?
I don't know. I don't think anybody's really put any pressure on them to do
It's
anything.
probably it's not.
No.
It's not.
Like
It's
I said,
not something that's being discussed.
no political will or people are happy with what things are going on in British Columbia because microcrafting is, basically farm to plate now. They can actually sell directly to the stores. They can sell directly, from wherever. You can now deliver it in British Columbia. They've taken all the, stained glass, whatever, off the windows. You can actually take all that.
Oh, okay, so your windows aren't covered.
No, because I found that was probably worse for safety because you can't see in. So if somebody's getting robbed, you're not going to see them being robbed. So they took that off the windows for safety for the people that worked in them.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah.
Oh
So that's
yeah, it improves safety, but it doesn't guarantee you won't get robbed.
no, it doesn't. But
No.
when you're working retail, you're working in a store, like even where I work, there's no guarantee you're going to get robbed.
Oh yeah. I know from experience. I've looked at the end of a barrel of a shotgun. I was 18. So.
Yep. I was 17 and had a crowbar pulled on me at 7-Eleven when I was working there in Acadia in Calgary.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So you just never know.
Right.
You just never know.
You just don't know. So
No.
again, cannabis is a good thing. It's peaceful and it's healing. So let's hope that it can bring peace to the world.
That's right.
Right.
Exactly. All right. There was one story I mentioned that we didn't get to, and I'm just going to just mention it. I see, we here in Canada, we see it looks like the bigger corporate cannabis businesses have had some issues, whereas when it comes to producers, and the craft people seem to be, from my understanding, seem to be doing things a little bit better. But I see that there's a company that left, but they're coming back. Bedrocan, they left. They were part of Canopy at one point. They left Canada. They are stationed they're stationed in the Netherlands.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there was a well-known child cannabis advocate. Their mother was very upset when Bedrocan left because that was where her child was getting the medicine from, but the strain wasn't available anymore. Bedrocan left the system.
Yeah.
Right now they've come back. They're back in the system and have their license to grow again. So it's just not used to seeing somebody leave and come back. We're used to companies just dying or being successful.
So. It's funny because they're legalized in Germany now too, right?
Okay.
So Germany being, a little more, I think, liberal than even Canada is when it comes to certain things. They are going full bore on legalization with producers like Microcraft in Germany.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because of, like I said, they're a little more, depending on what part of Germany, you look at, but they legalized it and they've been really, but they also see the money side of it. Like, let's put it this way. I didn't realize that Canada was making, we were looking at 2.8 billion last time I had looked online for how much tax revenue was being brought in, right? I hadn't seen the 15. I didn't realize the municipalities were getting that much money because I have to wonder why the fuck are property taxes and why, if all this money's coming in for cannabis, which is a new industry, it's not even 7 years old, where the fuck is all that money? Billions and billions and billions of dollars. Like, and I've been asking that for a while. Where's the plant money? Where's the plant money? Nobody's got no answers. Like,
so you're gonna go to the municipality and to your provincial government?
I'm gonna call them up tomorrow and say, so what do you do with $11.5 million you get from the province for your cannabis taxation? Flat out. I'll ask.
We'll have to get an update from you next week.
Wow, I'm just gobsmacked about that.
Yeah, it's a lot of dough. It's a lot of dough. Okay. Anything else before we say goodbye?
I don't think so.
No.
See you next week.
All right. We'll see everybody next week. You can find us. We're not on Twitter anymore. We're still there, but we're not there. No, it's just one of those things. You can usually find us on Facebook and YouTube. That's where we're most active. Thanks to our sponsors, Legacy420.com, the Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, Limestone City Hydroponics.ca, as well as At-Eze.ca. Big thank yous to our viewers, our watchers, as well as our listeners, because this does go out as an audio podcast afterwards at your favorite audio podcast location. And other than that, thank you, and get out of my way, screen. We'll see y'all next week. Don't forget Reefer. Don't forget the news tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock.
Yeah, and tomorrow.
Correct. Now how come I know why it's not working? I gotta get used to this. We'll see you soon. Bye. Let's share PACE everywhere. That way it can help create peace. People everywhere advocating cannabis education.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.